Hello everyone, this is Lucy05 and welcome to the Global Mass Central Toy Review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2010 release by Hasbro of the Iron Man 2 action figure review. And today's action figure review, we'll be looking at figure number 35 of the comic series of the Classic Iron Monger. Now I got this straight from a local toy shop near my area for 38 ringgit. Retail price is about 39 ringgit and 90 cents, which I actually save about 2 ringgit there. But toy department stores is still not stocking this figure up, which is kind of weird. Now let's take a look at the front part of the packaging itself. In the top part of the packaging, you've got a nice little artwork of the Iron Man figure. Now, just like the Hulkbuster's packaging, because due to the size and the long plastic they put on the figure, they don't bother to put the accessories for the figure itself. But in this section here, like the rest of the Iron Man 2 figures that comes with accessories, they will actually say it will include a step-on blaster or whatso not. However, for figures like this and Hulkbuster, it's replaced by this wording that says with figure stand, which is kind of lame at the same time. Inside the plastic bubble, you get the huge figure, and on this one section here is the armor cards. At the back of the figure itself, you've got the base stand. Now at the bottom is stated its name, Classic Iron Monger, 3 armor cards and a figure stand included. Now at the back of the packaging itself, you get a bio of the Iron Monger, and you get a nicer image of the Iron Monger. It's all shiny paint job, but if you compare to the ones on the actual figure itself, it looks kind of flat in color, but later on we'll check it out in detail. Here it's stated with a figure stand, but you see the image of the figure, but you don't include the figure stand, so what's the point of telling people that it has a figure stand in the first place? The rest of the Iron Man 2 figures that comes with an accessory will have the figure itself attached with the accessory. That's the whole point. But this one is stating there's a figure stand there, and well, they're trying to fill up something, but it failed. Here we got the rest of the lineup. Number 32 we have Iron Man Advanced Armor. Number 33 we have Iron Man Arctic Armor, and here gets a very interesting misprint, I assume. Number 34, you will recognize this as the Silver Centurion, Iron Monger Silver Centurion. We all who read the comic understand that the Silver Centurion did fought with the Iron Monger, but the rest of the Iron Man armor is stated as Iron Man, and then the bottom part will differentiate what sort of type of armor it is. They actually put the Silver Centurion as an Iron Monger and then state Silver Centurion, which makes no sense at all. So I think it's a misprint, or maybe it's deliberate. We have no idea. So we already babbled long enough. Let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toy. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figure and rest the stuff out from packaging. Now inside the packaging, it comes with 3 armor cards for you to switch around with the other Iron Man 2 armor cards. We got the torso, the pair of legs, the arms and head. Now it has some nice details in the cards itself, but the colors applied to the cards itself is rather too dark, so you have to look really close to it. It's still alright, it's just armor cards there, so it's no big deal. Let's take a look at the base stand. Here is the section where you place the 3 armor cards there, and there are 3 slots there. And then you got the base itself. There's a nameplate there where Hasbro don't even bother to put the name of the figure itself. Now the base stand there, you got a peg there to hold the figure. Now on the bottom feet of the figure itself, at the heel there, you will notice there are 2 holes. Okay, I actually easily put it in like so and can stand onto the base stand. Problem is, you notice this figure is too big for this base stand, and there's a lot of feet being shown out here. So it's not really great. I mean, they should have made a bigger base stand rather than reuse the same thing, but if you want to be cheap, there you go. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now after wave 3 for the Iron Man 2 figures, the quality control issue starts to show even more obvious. This is a good example. You notice that the back of the packaging, the figure is actually in a more metallic paint, a metallic blue paint job. It looks really nice, really detailed. That's what got me into wanting to get it. But when I saw this out of the packaging, it looks really horrible. A lot of black smudges are shown in this section. This entire arm is all smudged with black paint, so it's really bad. So does the lower torso here as well. You notice there's no black paint anywhere, but somehow they managed to do this kind of a smudged, sloppy paint job all over the lower torso, the arms here as well. Really sloppy and dirty paint job, and the face as well, really bad paint job on the sides as well. On the other side as well, it's not really good paint job. Even the legs, it's like someone accidentally dropped this in a bucket of ink, immediately pull it out, wash it off and wipe it off, and this is the result. Okay, it's really dirty. Look at the back here, all the messy, sloppy paint job being shown here. And the worst part is, despite it's blue, not all the places are painted blue. Now the entire figure itself is actually in blue plastic, but even in blue, you notice you got this cheap quality plastic feel around here, and you notice that this part is not painted and this part is slightly painted for some reason. But you notice the neck collar, that is also not painted, it's just pure plastic, and some parts of the pure plastic is shown here as well, it's not properly painted, so it's rather disappointing. Now let's take a look at the middle of the arc reactor here. The paint job on the red here bled onto the edges, on the edges of the arc reactor itself. It's not really nicely done, and the red is, it's not really a nice paint job compared to the one to the back of the packaging itself. There are some parts are not properly painted. In the middle part especially, you can still see some blue. Now let's take a look at the figure sculpt. The sculpt, however, there are only a handful of new sculpt. The head, the hands, and the feet. That's the bottom of the feet here. It's really weird to see this. It looks like bite marks, or it's not such a big of a deal. It's just really weird in design. Now you'll notice, what about these parts here and here? Actually those are add-ons. You notice that this piece here, the gauntlet here, is not part of the figure itself, and it's loose, very loose. So does the other side as well. The shoulder pads, they just, well, pull on another shoulder pad and place it onto the figure. Now there's some articulation here, but there's no articulation on the other side. The leg itself is just an add-on. The lower leg here is just an add-on with the armor itself. So you have to be careful, because at the edges there, it seems hollowed. You notice the holes there. You notice there's some exposed like that. Yeah, on the sides here, it's all hollowed. So you have to be careful. If it drops or if you squeeze too hard on the side, it will break. Whenever I try to hold it, it seems like the plastic is about to go in, and it's loose as well. And you notice it's not properly, well, put onto the leg itself. So it's really horrible way to do it. You might as well make an entire new mold or fill in the gaps with more plastic or something else. Now on the gauntlet here, this is really bad. You notice there's some sculpt underneath this plastic there that connects to the tubings. There's some sculpt at the bottom part, but they just slap onto the plastic like so, just to have the two tubings to connect onto the upper bicep there. And then you got the antenna, and the funny thing about this antenna, the edges of the plastic here seem to have white lining. It's like the plastic is about to wear off, shown here. It's really weird. Now at the back here, you notice two gaping holes originally, because they used this entire figure from the Hulkbuster figure. And at the back there, you got the two exhaust pipes, and they remove it. Now you have two gaping holes at the back. This entire figure is just the same sculpt, except for the head, hands, and feet. The rest of the stuff is just an add-on, like this. The neck piece here, which every time you swivel the head, this thing will swivel as well. The shoulder pads is the add-on. The gauntlet and the lower leg armor part here is also another add-on. The only thing new is the hands, head, and the feet. It's not really well done as well. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head actually turns 360 degrees. When you turn the head, it will turn the neck piece as well sometimes. This has some movement up and down, and this doesn't. Arms can actually turn 360 degrees, but being hindered by the shoulder pad, which is kind of ironic too. Arms can just lift this far, and the elbow here bend this far straight. Can go left and right, but cannot turn 360 degrees because it's being hindered by the tubings itself that connected to the upper bicep. Wrist here can move left and right because it's being hindered by the gauntlet too. Now the waist joint here move left and right and tilt down a little bit forward and backwards a little bit. Now the hip joint itself, the peg is aligned in this direction, so you have to turn the entire ball joint itself to one direction in order to bend the leg, and it bends this far or to the other side as well. It turns 360 degrees, and it also has a swivel tie that turns 360 degrees. Now it comes with a double jointed knee that bends this far, and the ankle here can bend down a little bit, bend up a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. Overall, the execution on this figure itself, the quality control issues is a lot. The bad paint job is shown all over the arms itself. Is all smudged with black paint job. It's not properly painted, so that's the lower torso as well, and one side of the leg is more dirtier than compared to the other side. But if you switch it on the other section here, you notice all the black smudges all are shown all over the place itself. And the face, it's not properly painted as well. You notice it's more darkish rather than blue. It's all smudged up. Now the hand sculpt looks very nice, so does the feet there, but the rest of the stuff is just the same old sculpt with the add-on of the armor piece here, and this shoulder pad here seems rather cheap in plastic when you look at it. So if I'm gonna give a rating of this figure, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It looks nice. It looks nice to have a classic Iron Monger. I really wish they have done a better paint job on this and show what's more to the back of the packaging itself in a metallic blue paint job rather than this really sloppy paint job. And some parts of the armor is rather loose. I wish they actually secure more properly on the arm guards here and fill in more plastic gap onto the each sides of the lower legs there, so it won't feel like it's gonna break anytime you try to play around with it, or if it falls in a certain angle, then if it breaks you can't do anything. So if I'm gonna give a rating, this is 5 out of 10. So this is the end of the review. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.